These women describe, and they produced these fact patterns independently. You know, these are not women who are talking to each other in almost all cases. They describe really horrific and serious allegations of abuse, you know, slapping, hitting, choking. Bear in mind, you know, this is an individual who was a very public champion of women's rights, who in fact introduced anti-choking legislation. And he was, according to multiple women in this story, choking them, among other things. And I want to make one very important point, Alisyn. A significant part of his response to this is to say that there was role-playing in his private life. And I just want to relate the message of one of these women, and it was a shared sentiment amongst this group, that this was not role-playing, that this was not 50 Shades of Grey. It wasn't in a gray area at all. This was activity that happened in many cases fully clothed outside of a sexual context during arguments. In one case, a woman wasn't even in a relationship at all with him, Alisyn. This was just an allegation that he came up to her at a party. This is a prominent attorney who had worked with him and came on to her. And when she rebuffed him, that he hit her hard. And, you know, I reviewed a photo of the mark that was left after that, and it was upsetting to see. So the allegation that this was role-playing, you know, is not consistent with what these women said. A lot of the time, they recounted having conversations with friends. You know, they all told people at the time, and we interviewed a lot of people who said, yes, indeed, you know, I was there that evening.
Including doctors. I mean, some of them went for medical attention.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And, you know, I spoke to one of those doctors and looked at some of those medical records, and you know, in that case, a woman was bleeding from the ear in a persistent way afterwards. But the point I want to make is that in those conversations after the fact, a lot of their friends and loved ones said, don't do it, don't speak out against him. And in some cases, that was because they feared the risk of reprisals. You know, they described him threatening people, using his office and his power to say, you know, he could wiretap people or he could come after people. But also in some cases, Alisyn, those friends warned them off of talking because they thought that he had the power to do too much good for the Democratic Party.
I mean, that's a story in itself of the sacrifices that people think they make for the cause, the personal sacrifices. Here's his resignation statement. He says, it's been my great honor and privilege to serve as Attorney General for the people of the state of New York. In the last several hours, serious allegations, which I strongly contest, have been made against me. While these allegations are unrelated to my professional conduct or the operations of the office, they will effectively prevent me from leading the office's work at this crucial time. I therefore resign my office effective at the close of business today, May 8th, 2018.